And all the latest football news in a crucial midweek for the championship race.
And Rangers' lead at the top of the Premier Division will be reduced to just 2 points if Celtic win at Kilmarnock tonight. Fellow Cup semi-finalists Killie, of course, are fighting for survival and out to banish memories of their last meeting. Here's Gillen Carruthers.
Kilmarnock took a real hiding when they visited Celtic Park in early January. Georges Cadet notching up a hat-trick as Tommy Burns' men put 6 past Killie without reply. And the bad news for the home defence is that the Portuguese star should make Celtic's starting lineup tonight, even though he picked up a knock in last week's Old Firm match. Celtic face Rangers again on Sunday, but their manager is warning that none of his players will be looking beyond the immediate task.
Well, I think we've been doing that since January the 2nd, after the Rangers game, where we basically were 5-6 games behind them, and we just chipped away, just took one game at a time. That's the only thing we can do anything about is the next game. The only thing we can do anything about the league campaign now is the Kilmarnock game. The other 7 games take care of themselves, and that's what we've done since January. And the players have kept themselves, mentally very attuned to what the objectives are, and they've done exceptionally well.
It looks as though Paulo Di Canio won't play tonight. He was also injured against Rangers in the Cup, and no doubt he'll want to save himself for Sunday's Old Firm match. But Celtic will underestimate Kilmarnock at their peril. They may be second bottom, 5 points behind Hibs, but they're coming off the back of a good Cup victory at Morton. And the last time they faced Old Firm opposition at Rugby Park, Rangers had to settle for a draw.
We're putting a bucket load past Morton. A hat-trick from John Henry, coupled with strikes from Wright and McIntyre, booked them a place in the semi-final.
Celtic in action at Rugby Park this evening against the Kilmarnock side battling to avoid relegation, despite their excellent progress in the Tennant Scottish Cup. Those then the matches on tonight. Killie Celtic in the Premier. Well, joining me in the studio to talk football this evening, Graham Spears of Scotland on Sunday. OK, the news from Rugby Park is that Celtic's Paulo Di Canio is out of tonight's match. He's still recovering from a hamstring problem, but he should be OK for Sunday. Georges Cadet does play, despite reports this morning that he was carrying an injury as well.
I think it is absolutely terrific. I mean, I remember Tommy Burns said to me when he got the job at Parkhead, he said, "I'm not ready for this position. I've been at Kilmarnock and I've been dealing in an internal local transfer market. Now I'm going to Parkhead, a big club, and I've now got to work in a European-wide transfer market." Well, he learned very quickly and very successfully. And I think his signing of Van Hooijdonk, whom none of us had heard of, I'm an admirer of Van Hooijdonk. I think he'll do OK. The thing that intrigues me is that, to my mind, he's going to a smaller club. I mean, Parkhead is a fantastic arena to play in front of 50,000. He's going to a smaller club, but of course he's playing in a more vibrant atmosphere, the Carling Premiership. So he'll enjoy that. But I think he'll hold his own. I think he's a good player.
It was noticeable at the news conference yesterday. It was a wee room with a little backdrop and a strip stuck up on the blackboard. It didn't look like a big club.
No, I saw that. I mean, of course they have this great European pedigree and the Clough years behind them, but they're struggling at the moment. And if they go down, he might suddenly think, wait a minute, what have I done here? What have I given up back in Glasgow?
OK, well, Kilmarnock manager Bobby Williamson joined us live in the Football Show studio last night, and he told us just how determined his players were to take something from tonight's game. Killie without first-choice keeper Dragoje Likovic due to international duty, so Scotland under-21 Colin Meldrum steps in. For Tommy Burns and Billy Stark, though, there can be no sympathy for their old club, and then travel across the city on Sunday for the match most people now see as the title decider. Tommy Burns told Martin Geisler that while Kilmarnock may be jubilant after their Saturday success, his men are also geared up for tonight's challenge.
Yeah, well, I like to think we're a bit high ourselves, having a significant result ourselves, but every game's different. We just need to make sure our attitude's right. It's a league game, there's 3 points at stake, and it's 3 points that we're after.
You say you're on a high yourself. How difficult is it going to be for you to put last Thursday's game to the back of your minds and get on with the matter in hand now, to stop the euphoria creeping in?
Well, you've got to think the same thing about Kilmarnock. The euphoria might be taking them away as well after winning the game against Morton on Saturday, so there's not always a derogatory effect after a good win. It can take you on to a higher level, and hopefully that's what we'll do to our players.
How difficult is it now for your players to look at the smaller picture, if you like, the one game ahead, rather than the next 8 games, which is obviously the big goal at the end of the road?
Well, I think we've been doing that since January the 2nd, after the Rangers game, where we basically were 5-6 games behind them, and we just chipped away, just took one game at a time. That's the only thing we can do anything about is the next game. the only thing we can do anything about for the league campaign now is a Kilmarnock game. The other 7 games take care of themselves, and that's what we've done since January. And the players have kept themselves, you know, mentally very attuned to what the objectives are, and they've done exceptionally well.
That was Tommy Burns. And Graham, back in January, back in December, they were 17 points behind. Nobody gave them an earthly chance. They now have the chance tonight to pull it back to 2.
Yeah, the next 6 days are going to be very, very interesting if the results fall into place. And I take your point. I mean, we were all universally writing Celtic off. And Walter Smith was forever saying, you know, when are the press going to learn about this? The arithmetic of this can change very quickly. And that's precisely what's happened. Suddenly, Rangers are beginning to sweat.
Yeah, he's not got Di Canio to pick tonight, but Cadet's fit, and that's important given what's been happening recently.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about the skill Burns showed in signing Van Hooijdonk. Cadet as well has been such a terrific striker for Celtic. Di Canio, I think, comes into the category of Ginola, very skillful, but if it's not always effective, it doesn't work. But recently, he's been playing very well, Di Canio, and I think they'll really miss him tonight. He's
a big game player, of course, and Tommy, despite what he's saying about tonight's game, he's got to win. He's got one eye on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, Tommy, of course, to look forward to Sunday. Tommy said to me recently, you know, you look at the players for these big games, and sometimes you need to cajole them and psych them up. You look at Di Canio, and you just see the wildness in his eyes, the look in his eyes. So he won't need to psych him up for Sunday, but of course they'll all be looking towards Sunday.
The other thing about Celtic, it started to go well. They won the cup tie last week. They now look at the draw. With all respect to Falkirk, Celtic will be thinking they're in the Tennant Scottish Cup final, and now they've got Rangers on the back foot.
Yeah, that's right. The season has been transformed over the last couple of weeks, and I think they'll show Falkirk every respect. But suddenly Tommy Burns is staring at 2 different lots of silverware.
And in tonight's soccer, Celtic lost their chance to close the gap on Rangers at the top of the Scottish Premier Division. Paul Wright got one of the goals as they lost 2-0 at relegation-threatened Kilmarnock.
And in the Bell Scottish Premier Division, a very important result. Kilmarnock 2, Celtic 0. Paul Wright and Alex Burke, the scorers. It means that Celtic's title hopes have taken a major blow. They're 5 points behind Rangers, and they've played a game more.
Celtic lost 6 points to Kilmarnock last season, and it looks as if they've lost a vital 3 to them this season as well. The Celtic defence in all sorts of trouble last night, and coming up, a great double save from Stuart Kerr. First from Alec Burke, then from John Henry. The ball eventually cleared by McKee. Celtic on the attack now, and a golden chance for them to go 1-up. Tosh McKinley gets to the byline, he crosses, Cadet sets up Peter Grant, lovely chip, back off the bar. Cadet comes up with the follow-up, but Meldrum saves the day. Grant unlucky there. Look at that, it looks like a perfect chip. Meldrum racing back, can't reach it, the ball coming back off the bar. Now the goal, which gave Kilmarnock the lead. Paul Wright with the bending free kick. Stuart Kerr, no chance with that one. Paul Wright curling the ball into Kerr's top left-hand corner. 1-0 Killie. Celtic on the attack again, and a great chance here for George Cadet. He climbs above the defence, and again Celtic hit the woodwork. The ball eventually cleared, and Cadet distraught. Great header, unlucky. Now the killer goal for Kilmarnock, and 3 points which could keep them in the Premier Division. Alex Burke makes the run through to John Henry. Good save by Kerr, but no chance when Burke follows up with the second. 2-0 Killie. Disaster for Celtic. A glorious opportunity passed up, but well done to Kilmarnock. Great finish there from Alex Burke. One last chance for Celtic. Cadet through in Meldrum, but that really summed up Celtic's night. The Kilmarnock fans delighted.
It's Rangers versus Dundee United tonight, but no doubt the major talking point among the fans will be last night's result at Rugby Park. Second bottom Kilmarnock humbling second top Celtic. 2-0 the final score, and it means that instead of narrowing the gap to 2 points at the top of the table, Celtic could find themselves trailing by 8 points going into Sunday's Old Firm clash at Parkhead if Rangers can overcome Dundee United at Ibrox tonight. Killie well worth their 3 points last night against Celtic. They remain in the playoff position at the bottom of the table, now 4 points above Wraith, but only 2 points behind Hibs and Motherwell, who travelled to Rugby Park on Saturday. It was clear from the outset last night that Celtic keeper Stuart Kerr was going to have a busy game. And at the other end, Killie's stand-in Colin Meldrum was also under pressure. Peter Grant denied by the bar, and Georges Cadet couldn't take advantage of the rebound. But this was a shadow of the side who did so well against Rangers in the Cup just a few days ago, and Celtic found themselves trailing after 24 minutes. An unstoppable free kick from Paul Wright giving the home side a well-deserved lead. And the Ayrshire men showed they weren't content to sit back after that, Kerr denying McIntyre Killie's second. Celtic were missing Paulo Di Canio from their attack, but scoring partner Cadet almost gave them the equaliser. Again, the woodwork intervened. Into the second half, and youngster Alec Burke was causing Enrico Annoni all sorts of problems. But it was the Italian who kept Celtic in the game when Burke's header beat Kerr. Annoni cleared off the line. The home fans claimed it had gone over, but the replay shows the referee was probably correct to wave play on. Burke continued to torment the Celtic defence though, forcing the best out of Kerr here, while Simon Donnelly made sure Meldrum wasn't a spectator in the Killie goal. And that was Celtic's last chance to equalise, for their opponents promptly raced up the field and made it 2-0. Burke started the move, Henry's shot was saved, but Celtic fan Burke was there to slam home the rebound, a goal that could spell the end of Celtic's title hopes. Tommy Burns' side continued to press for a goal, Cadet going close, while at the back Annoni wasn't doing Kerr any favours. The last chance of the game fell to Celtic, McKinley forcing an outstanding save from Meldrum, but by that time it was clear it wasn't going to be their night. The furious manager locked his side in the dressing room afterwards, but the Killie boss reckoned no one should have been surprised at the result.
From everybody outside Kilmarnock, I think it was unexpected, but we know what we can do here, and I thought it was a great performance for our players. We could have actually scored a few more. The young boy Stuart Kerr has some fantastic saves, especially from young Alec Burke, who could maybe even end up with a hat-trick tonight. It was a great all-round team performance.
Now then, Celtic's Georges Cadet has been speaking today in the wake of last night's defeat at Kilmarnock. Cadet reckons Celtic fans deserve better, and he tried to explain the reasons for the defeat.
After the big games, I speak because I have this myself experience. In sporting, sometimes you win the big game, and next game against small teams or more small teams, not too big teams, you think is the goal come, and maybe it's not scoring the first minute, scoring the 20 minutes and second half, and after that another team start to play better and win confidence, and when you want to change the game, don't have chance to change the game because another team win too much confidence and all the time don't have space, don't have ball, and when this can happen it's very difficult, and your head don't work well and you want, but it don't come nothing.
Well, Georges Cadet there, Charlie, and he seems to be suggesting there was a wee reaction to the win over Rangers last week.
I'm not surprised at that. I mean, you've got to be prepared. I've seen Kilmarnock at the weekend, and although it's different to judge between Morton and Celtic, Kilmarnock are fighting for a life, and we said in the weekend show this is going to be one heck of a game for Celtic. It proved to be that, and take nothing away from Kilmarnock. By all accounts, they could have won by a lot more.
Yeah, OK. Well, Celtic started last night's game hoping to close the gap on Rangers to 2 points, but all credit to Kilmarnock, battling to save their Premier Division status and buoyed by winning that Cup semi-final place at Cappielow on Saturday. Here's the highlights from Rugby Park. Celtic lost 6 points to Kilmarnock last season, and it looks as if they've lost a vital 3 to them this season as well. The Celtic defence in all sorts of trouble last night, and coming up, a great double save from Stuart Kerr. First from Alec Burke, then from John Henry. The ball eventually cleared by Malky Mackay. Celtic on the attack now, and a golden chance for them to go 1-up. Tosh McKinley gets to the byline, he crosses, Cadet sets up Peter Grant, lovely chip, back off the bar. Cadet comes up with the follow-up, but Meldrum saves the day. Grant unlucky there. Look at that, it looks like a perfect chip. Meldrum racing back, can't reach it, the ball coming back off the bar. Now the goal, which gave Kilmarnock the lead. Paul Wright with the bending free kick. Stuart Kerr, no chance with that one. Paul Wright curling the ball into Kerr's top left-hand corner. 1-0 Killie. Celtic on the attack again, and a great chance here for Georges Cadet. He climbs above the defence, and again Celtic hit the woodwork. The ball eventually cleared, and Cadet distraught. Great header, unlucky. Now the killer goal for Kilmarnock, and 3 points which could keep them in the Premier Division. Alex Burke makes the run through to John Henry. Good save by Kerr. but no chance when Burke follows up with the second. 2-0 Killie. Disaster for Celtic. A glorious opportunity passed up, but well done to Kilmarnock. Great finish there from Alex Burke. One last chance for Celtic. Cadet through in Meldrum, but that really summed up Celtic's night. The Kilmarnock fans delighted.
Celtic, probably people will say they didn't play too well tonight, but you're going to get that. It's been the story of Kilmarnock season. Every time we win a game, they say the other team never played well, but we played really well tonight, and I'm just delighted with the players.
Well, I normally blast free kicks, but tonight I just decided to try and bend one, you know, and it's the first time in about 5 years I've tried that, and fortunately for me and Kilmarnock it went in. Against Old Firm at home, you've got to have a go. We let him have a lot of possession tonight, but once we got the ball, we went at them. And, you know, we were up for it tonight, and hopefully we'll be up for it again Saturday.
Go, and as far as we're concerned, there's still a lot of work to be done during these 8 games. Everybody keeps talking about the Celtic Rangers, but we're here to do Dundee United justice tonight. It's a difficult venue at any time, but we're here to do ourselves justice at Ibrox.
And I'm sure with a big game like the game that's coming up tonight, Tommy, it's quite easy to take the players' minds off the Cup semi-final.
Well, the Cup semi-final will take care of itself, and I think, if anything, last night's result will help us, because all we're reading about is Dundee United, Celtic are going to meet in the final, and I think that last night it shows that Kilmarnock deserve respect, and it shows what they're capable of, and we're anticipating a hard tie in the semi-final, but that's down the road. I think we've got enough on our plate tonight and a difficult task ahead of us.
Now, we've had to see Celtic losing at Rugby Park last night.
Absolutely amazed, to be honest. We thought if Kilmarnock got a point, it'd be a bonus for us. And there you go, strange thing, football. You know, Celtic played tremendously well the other day against us, and then faltered last night. But we've got to make sure we do the business tonight. You know, the boys are really up for it, and we know a victory is essential for us to go in for an 8-point cushion.
Kilmarnock, the form side from last night against Motherwell, who are 15-8, and 6-4 Wraith Rovers in the Fife derby against Dunfermline, the Pars. For that call, we're going to Scunthorpe now. John Lappin's on the line. John, what's your point tonight?
It's about Celtic's chances of winning the league. What do you think they are, Charlie?
Well, to be honest, John, I felt after the last Cup performance that things looked brighter for Celtic, but I've never fancied Celtic for this championship. Every time they have an opportunity to close the gap in Rangers or really put the pressure on them, they've failed to do it. And again, they did it last night. And I said just last weekend, I think Rangers could end up winning this league comfortably. By that, I would mean maybe even with a couple of games to spare. I think Celtic have got it all to do now.
Graham, that was a real chance for Celtic last night to pile the pressure on Rangers before the live television match on Sunday.
Yeah, they stand accused of not having the heart for victory, and it's a hell of a thing, having gone so long without beating Rangers to the title, to go down there and not at least get a point. As George Cadet said, that they all felt that something was lacking last night. It shouldn't be that way, despite coming down off a big win. I think it's touch and go now. Everything hinges on tonight. If it's a win for Rangers tonight, then I think it's finished.
It's been an amazing spell in Scottish football. Celtic won the Old Firm Scottish Cup tie, but just 5 days later they crashed to an embarrassing defeat. Kilmarnock ripped them apart at Rugby Park, and the relegation strugglers pulled off a 2-0 win.